Hello, I'm Carl Nofuente with the Harlan Institute of Financial Education. And on behalf of our organization and the college planning team, we want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Being a certified financial educator for our organization and as well as the director of our HIFE college planning program, I've had the opportunity to sit down with many families like yourself, helping them address various financial concerns that they all have. Now, I find the two biggest concerns that most families have typically revolve around number one, which is getting out of debt, and then number two, which is planning for their retirement. Now, many of us know and will eventually take the time to plan for this, and even some of us will be very successful in doing so. However, I also find there are families out there that are worried about another concern, especially if they happen to have children. It's in the area of college planning and college funding. Matter of fact, most people are confused or may not even know the difference between the two. And see, what's alarming and worrisome for me is as I sit down with families and talk to them about college planning or college funding, many of them spend more time and more effort focusing on their retirement and getting out of debt than they do their college planning or college funding. And what's sad is it's not until our children are in high school or about to be in college, we start to actually recognize we needed to plan for this much sooner. See, this is an area I find time and time again is overlooked and not planned out so well. And you know, the reason why this happens to be very true today, or why I see that to be very true, is because look around us. Students are graduating with more and more student loan debts. We just recently surpassed $1 trillion in student loan debt. Along with that, students aren't graduating nearly as fast as we like or hope for them to. You know, the average time frame to get a bachelor's degree is no longer 4 years, but 6 years. And again, all of that is a part of lack of planning, lack of guidance, maybe even a lack of understanding. See, I believe and understand that we all need those things. But what we may not know or what we may not necessarily understand is where to go or who to get help from. Maybe we don't even know where to begin. That's why I think there's a big dilemma with our college planning system or our college system alone. See, if you're like many families, you probably have the same concerns as they do, the same concerns my parents had. See, are you concerned or more stressed about your children's education? Are you worried about the rising costs of college tuition? Do you worry or are you concerned that your child chooses the right major? Are you wondering whether or not your child has a game plan for college? Are you worried that your child will not qualify for financial aid? Are you concerned that you may have to tap into your retirement or personal savings just to pay for your children's college education? If you happen to answer yes to any of these questions, then I believe it's time for you to take action and get more education. Now, understanding those two are necessary in being successful for planning out your kids' education. Here at the Institute, we believe in doing college right. We have the college planning solution. It's a solution that's going to help move your student from high school to college and eventually into a career that's best suited for him or her. Now, we accomplish all of this by making sure we understand what are your students' strengths. We help them identify what are their career interests, what are their skills, and what are their work values. Now, all of this is accomplished through our student assessments. And because there are over 1,000 different occupations or careers to choose from, it's hard for any student to begin any research on any career without knowing where to begin. So the assessment tests, what they do or the results that they receive, helps the student narrow down and focus in on what careers are more suited for them. Now, the results don't necessarily tell the student what they're going to be good at or what they should be doing. What it really does is helps the student get to know themselves and understand themselves better. Once we know the results, we can start working with the students with exploring occupations or careers. And the first area we want them to consider or look into is the education requirements. We want to make sure the student understands how long will it take for them to go to school. Should they go to school for 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, possibly even get more or additional certification for that career. Then we want them to look into the work conditions and identify whether or not they're cut out to those tasks. Do they have the skill sets to do those things? And if not, can they develop the skill set to do that type of career? Then we also want them to look at the income potential and see whether or not they're going to be content or be excited that they potentially can make that type of income. And then the very last thing, which I think is the most important, is we want them to look at the job outlook. Before any student chooses a career, we want to make sure that there is a good job outlook, that the job placement is going to be very high for that student. Now, after your students explore different careers and they've narrowed down their search to a handful or so, our coaches can offer them some career guidance. They can help them compare the careers that they're interested in. They can teach them the importance of doing career interviews by making sure that they encourage a student to interview someone in that same profession. Find out what are the pros and cons from that individual. Get their perspective of what it means to be in that career. And then possibly think about doing job shadowing or internship. And once you have all that information, this is where our coaches can help you make that final career selection. See, once you know the end goal or you have it in mind, the rest is easier to plan for. As an example, if you know you want to be an engineer and your assessments support that, the next step really is a college selection process. This is where our coaches are going to be able to help you and provide guidance as you research the different schools, seeing whether or not they have the major in degrees or even programs that can support your career goal. We'll also help you identify what are the admission process and competitiveness of those schools and what are those requirements. Ultimately, we want to make sure you rank well with the rest of the incoming freshman class. In addition, we want to make sure you're aware of the average SAT scores, the GPA that the students have that have been accepted in previous years. And the very last thing is we want to help you understand the school or university's true cost and financial aid. Ultimately, our coaches are here to help you compare those schools that you have in mind and help you identify which one is best suited for you, both financially and which one can help you reach or obtain your career goal. This is a system that's designed to help you obtain a higher education and eventually into a career that you'll do well in. Again, here at the Institute, we believe in doing college right. We want to help parents and students alike get the right information at the right time so that they can all make the right choices.